Well, first of all, let me say it's a pleasure to be here. I've just had a very good meeting with Dr. Sanalla. I see Dr. Sanalla a lot. There is a very close relationship between the United Kingdom and the NOC, and we work very closely together. Clearly, what is happening in the Oil Crescent is a tragedy. It's a tragedy for Libya, and it's a tragedy for the Libyan people, because we have terrorists who have gone in and are destroying a part of Libya that is critical for this country and is critical for the Libyan people. These are resources that belong to all the Libyan people, and they are being destroyed by a terrorist leader and a small number of people around him, including foreign nationals. And that is never a good thing, and it is, as I say, a tragedy for Libya. So the British government is very clear that it opposes absolutely everything that has happened in the Oil Crescent over the last few days. Well, we are discussing with our international partners, including our friends in New York on the Security Council, about action that we can take collectively to help Libya in this matter. Now, at the moment, those discussions are only just beginning, but there are a range of options that are open to us. Many options, which I don't want to go into now. It would not be right for me to go into that now. But let me say that this will be something that will be taken very seriously by London and by our friends around the world, especially our friends on the UN Security Council. That any kind of terrorist attack is always dealt with by the UN Security Council, and as this is a terrorist attack, we will look to see what action we will be able to take with our friends in New York. As I mentioned earlier, I have a very close relationship with Dr. Sanalla. Dr. Sanalla, I think, is a really excellent example of a Libyan who is working very hard for his people, working very hard for his country. And he is hugely respected around the world in the oil sector. And that is including in London. We of course have a long history with Libya, and we have a long history, a positive history of Libya, and a positive history of Libya in the oil sector. There are a number of British companies that have worked very closely with the Libyan people in the oil sector. One thinks of BP and Shell to begin with. There are other companies as well who supply within the supply chain. And those companies are all looking at Libya, looking very carefully at the Libyan oil sector, with a view to returning here at some stage in the future. And I am confident that as we work together politically and economically, and from a security perspective, between the British government, the Libyan government, and Libyan institutions, including the NOC, that we will see a return to the days when British companies were very heavily involved in helping Libya to extract the oil and to use the resources that this country has for the good of all of its people. So I look forward very much to continuing to work closely with everybody involved and continuing to work to ensure that the oil sector here returns to its previous state, and that it starts to produce or continues to produce and increases the production to provide the resources for the Libyan people.